And we are back here on the GSMC football podcast. And for the final part of the show, we're going to talk about the current standings after week 13. We'll go over them, and that'll basically be the end of the show. So we'll start off with the AFC. So the Dolphins, they're at 9-3. Bills are 6-6, 3 games back. Jets are 4-8. Patriots are 2-10. I still cannot believe that the Patriots have this bad of a record. Never thought that would be the case, but here we are. So then in the AFC North, you got the Ravens at 9-3, Steelers 7-5, Browns 7-5, and then the Bengals are 6-6. And it's kind of funny because, well, it's not really funny, but I would say it's weird. It's weird how in years past, you had all these quarterbacks that weren't on the Ravens. Like Lamar Jackson would be the quarterback that's hurt. The other quarterbacks in the division would be healthy. Now it's the complete opposite. You got Lamar Jackson as the only healthy starting QB, and you got Jake Browning for the Bengals now. Flacco is playing for the Browns, and then you got Mitchell Trubisky now, who's going to be the starter for the Steelers until Kenny Pickett comes back. Now there's probably going to be people out there that are going to be like, well, if these guys didn't get hurt, the Ravens went. The Ravens are a good team. The Ravens are a good team. I'm not gonna be one of those people, but I feel like there's definitely people out there that are gonna say that. So, yeah. So then for the AFC South, now with the Jags losing, the Colts and the Texans are 1 game back. So the Jags are 8-4. Texans and the Colts are 7-5. Titans are 4-8. Then in the AFC West, the Broncos, they could have picked up a game on the Chiefs if they would have won. But they didn't. They dropped to 6-6. Chiefs are 8-4. Chargers and Raiders are both 5-7. Then in the NFC, you got the Eagles at 10-2. Cowboys are 9-3. Big Sunday night matchup. Big. Because they could tie the Eagles. Then you got the Giants at 4-8. There's people still out there saying, hey, they still got a shot. Still got to play the Eagles twice. Yeah. So it's not going to go good. And, of course, one of those games is going to be on Christmas, and that is going to just – I honestly am not – I'm going to watch it for fantasy purposes, but other than that, it's just – it's going to be it's not going to be fun. It's not going to be fun. So the Giants, 4-8. Commanders 4-9. NFC North, the Lions are 9-3. Vikings and Packers are 6-6. They're 3 games out, but, yeah, their focus is going to be on the wild card. And then you got the Bears, who are 4-8. Then our favorite division, the NFC South. Falcons are 6-6. Bucks are 5-7. Saints are 5-7. Panthers are 1-11. They're officially eliminated from any kind of playoff contention. They still had some hope with the division, if you even want to call it that, because I said there was a scenario in which the Panthers could still win the division when they were 1-10, but that's out the window now. It's not happening. And then in the NFC West, Niners are 9-3, Rams are 6-6, Seahawks are 6-6, Cardinals are 3-10. When it comes to the NFC South, still holding out that the Bucks can somehow pass the Falcons. They do play the Falcons this week in Atlanta. They already lost to them, but their offense has been kind of struggling as of late. So, and the Falcons' offense isn't great either, but we'll see how it goes. But unfortunately, I'm kind of leaning towards taking the Falcons, which actually is good because if I do that and the Bucks win, then the Bucks will be in first place, I think. So that would be great. I'd take that. We'll just have to wait and see. So when we go to how the wild card and the seedings are currently at the moment, so you got the Dolphins have the 1 seed right now. Ravens have the 2, Chiefs have the 3, Jaguars have the 4. Then the Steelers have the top wild card spot. The Browns have the 2nd. Colts have the 3rd. All 3 of those teams are 7-5. You got the Texans, who are tied at 7-5. I think the Texans are going to get in. I think one of these teams is going to fall out. Especially with it's going to be hard to overcome these quarterback injuries, and that's the thing. Gardner Minshew, again, he's another backup quarterback that's in, but he's playing good. No disrespect to Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew's solid. I think he's the best backup quarterback in the NFL. Um, 'Cause he's a guy that started too. And he didn't do bad with the Eagles last year. Filling in for Hurts. Well, I'm pretty sure they lost like both games. They lost to the Saints and they lost to the Cowboys. But he did play well against the Cowboys, but they had a lot of turnovers in that game. In general, the Eagles did. But I think Minshew is, if he's not the best, he is one of the best backup quarterbacks in the NFL. But yeah, I think the Texans get in. The Bills definitely could still get in. But it's just going to be tough because they got the Chiefs, then they got the Cowboys. Chargers is going to be a shootout probably. Home against the Patriots, then at the Dolphins. I mean, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I mean, I mean, it'd be nice to see them in because you see Josh Allen and if the Bills get in as a 7th seed, I mean, nobody's going to want to play them because they got the experience. I know they've been a big disappointment. The last at least last year because you thought they were gonna go further than how they did the previous year, especially with the playoff game that we got to see between him and Mahomes. But yeah, now they there's a possibility they might not make it at all. You still got the Broncos there. I still give the Broncos a good shot. They play the Chargers and they're at the Lions. Lions don't have a good defense, but that's going to be a tough game. Home against the Patriots, home against the Chargers, at the Raiders. Broncos could get to 9 wins and maybe get in, depending on what the other teams do. Bengals are 1 game back. I mean, they have a shot, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready to say they can make it, but who knows? We'll move into the NFC now, actually. So you got the Eagles at the 1, Niners are the 2 seed, Lions are the 3, Falcons are the 4, Cowboys are the 5, Vikings are the 6 seed, Packers are the 7th, and then you got the Rams and the Seahawks who are the 8 and 9 teams, and they're tied. But the Packers hold the tiebreaker over those 2 teams. Yeah, Vikings. I mean, what happened with Josh Dobbs on Monday night a couple weeks ago? Yeah, that's an issue, and hopefully they can fix that, and he could be back to how he was playing the first couple of games with the Vikings. You're getting Justin Jefferson back, and it's funny. I've been on and off the Packers, so I was like, hey, maybe this team can be a wild card team this year, and then they just were playing so bad, and I'm like, all right, well, that doesn't look like that's going to happen. And now they've won 3 in a row. They beat the Chiefs this past week. So, then they got the Giants, they got the Bucks, the Panthers, the Vikings, the Bears. I mean, those are all winnable games. This team could definitely get to 9-10 wins. I don't want to say they're going to win every single game, but I think they could get in. I mean, if they win out, they're in. And for the Rams, I mean, they got the Ravens, which I don't think they're going to win. But then you got the Commanders, the Saints. I think you can win those games. At the Giants, I think you should win that game. So that's another team that's looking at 9 wins. The Vikings, at the Raiders, that might be a tough game, but I think they can win that. At the Bengals is going to be, I mean, if Jake Browning plays like he did, yesterday, that's going to be a tough game. You play the Lions twice, and you play the Packers in Lambeau. So they got a tougher schedule. And then for Seattle, they got the Niners again. Then they got the Eagles at the Titans, home against the Steelers, and then at the Cardinals with Kyler. They got a tough schedule too. So, I mean, you still got the Buccaneers and the Saints who are 1 game back. Bucks got the Falcons, which, I mean, I thought they could beat the Falcons when they played them back in Week 7, but they lost. So I feel like they're going to lose again. Then they play the Packers, who have been playing better. The Jaguars game is going to be interesting now because, we got to see, is Trevor Lawrence going to be back? Is Trevor Lawrence going to miss an extended period of time? Because if he doesn't play and you're dealing with C.J. Beathard, then that changes everything. Then you're home against the Saints, a team you already beat, and then you're home again, or then you're at Carolina, which I think they should win. Right now, I'm kind of looking at the Bucs as maybe getting 7 wins. which I hope doesn't happen, but that's where I'm at right now with them. And then for the Saints, home against the Panthers, I mean, I think they could still win even without Derek Carr. Home against the Giants, I mean, I think they should win that, but, how they play, who knows. At the Rams, they can win that, but right now I look at the Rams as a better team. At Tampa, they already lost to them, and then they're home against the Falcons. So, I mean, I look at the Saints maybe getting 7-8 wins. But that's just because of how they've been playing. I mean, they should be playing better than what their record shows. But it's just that the Saints are a weird team. And I keep saying every week, I'm not going to pick them, I'm not going to pick them, I'm not going to pick them. I still pick them, except this past week. I did pick the Lions. But then the Saints I thought were going to cover at one point. And I would have been so mad if that happened. Because, the one week I don't pick them, they finally, cover. And they almost did. I mean, give them credit. They were down 21-0, and they battled back. But it just wasn't enough. And like I said, you got to protect your quarterback better. But that NFC South. And the thing that really angers me is, listen, the Cowboys are a good team. But if they end up not winning the division, they're going to face the winner of the NFC South. That's going to be another, freebie for them to get into the divisional round. Because they're better than every team in that division. The Cowboys playing the Falcons, Cowboys should win that game easily. But again, crazier things have happened. But that might be what ends up happening. They can end up in Tampa again, the Saints. I mean, the Cowboys are better than all those teams. But hey, you know what? The Cowboys, they could still win the division. It's still possible. I mean, this game against the Eagles is huge. We're obviously going to talk about it, during the week. Because, listen, the Cowboys almost beat the Eagles the last time they faced each other in Philly. Now they're at home where they're really good. They did almost lose to Seattle. But, now that, I mean, they could have been looking past Seattle and looking at Philadelphia. And, that's the game that we're ready for. But the thing is, though, the Eagles are coming off of a really bad loss. So they're going to be, they're going to be mad going into this game. So that game's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully. I said Niners-Eagles was going to be a lot of fun, and look what happened with that. Although I was, okay with the outcome. But hopefully the Sunday night game between Dallas and Philly is a classic. Because we've seen a lot of those over the years. But, that's pretty much it with the show for today. Make sure to look out for yesterday's show being reposted into the 4 segments. I'll be working on that today. Also the shorts that will be released throughout the day. But, yeah. That is all the time that we have for today. I thank you guys for watching. As always, I'm your host, Kenneth Gruenfelder, signing off from the GSMC Football Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Have a good day, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care.